everybody. Can you see me? Can you hear me? You can? Great. For those of you who are not aware, I had initially planned on doing a live stream of me watching and reacting to the latest episode of Lucha Underground. Those plans fell through because of unforeseen technical difficulties that I still don't know what happened. Google Hangout stopped working, so then I tried to download another piece of software that would help me broadcast onto YouTube for the live stream, and for whatever reason, the software did not recognize my video, my camera, as like an input or as a source to broadcast. So for about 2 minutes, I broadcasted a black screen. And then I was like, okay, so fuck the live stream. We're done with that for now. I don't know what went wrong, but it's kind of spoiled my plans. But I'll film a video reacting to the episode afterwards, and that should be okay. Then my microphone stopped working, and I couldn't film that either. And it's like, well, Jesus, fuck. What the fuck? But all technical difficulties seem to have been dealt with for now. So I do apologize for the live stream not happening. It is something I do want to do in the near future. I don't know what for yet. I'll have to come up with another idea. Maybe for Ultimate Lucha Trace. Maybe I'll try again then. But for right now, yeah, it's so we made it through all those problems. You guys can see me now. You guys can hear me now. I think we're good. So, what is there to go over? Well, I just saw the Floyd Money Mayweather Conor McGregor fight. It was enjoyable. It was a good, fun romp. The fight was fun to watch. McGregor lasted longer than I think a lot of people thought he would, although the fight pretty much played out how you would have expected Mayweather to do it. I mean, Mayweather is a very defensive fighter. He's pretty much been that way for a while now. The last 10 years at least. So I knew even in the earlier rounds when McGregor was the more aggressive one and seemed to be landing the better shots, I could kind of tell that like Mayweather's like, you know, playing his game. Like he's playing the long game. In the later rounds, he's gonna overtake McGregor and make him tired and then ultimately take him down, which is exactly what happened. I could see it, sense it in like the 6th or 7th round. I was like, uh-oh, here's where McGregor's going to run into trouble. And sure enough, it played out pretty much how I expected. But I didn't think McGregor embarrassed himself either. So the fight went about as well as it possibly could for both guys involved. Mayweather gets to stay undefeated and doesn't lose his own sport to an outsider. And McGregor gets to say that he went 9.5 or 10 rounds or however long it was. He gets to say he went that long with the undefeated best at that sport in a sport that's not his. So, you know, everybody came out smelling like a rose, and, you know, they made a shitload of money off this thing. So, everybody won on this one. And like I said, it was fun. It was an enjoyable spectacle. It was one of those kind of like, you know, kind of like Rocky Balboa, the way that fight was sold at the end of that movie, where it's like, it's just like this kind of circus tent, wacky, entertaining thing to do, rather than like I don't want to say like a legitimate fight, but like one that's like, this one's more spectacle to draw in like a bunch of like outsiders that don't typically follow the sport, and to that end it succeeded. So more credit to them, and like I said, I had fun watching it, so that is that. But what is there to talk about in the world of professional wrestling? Some stuff happened this week. Latest episode of Lucha Underground, I definitely want to talk about that. Talk about the latest episode of GFW. Talk about how Sexy Star is apparently a crazy bitch and needs to calm the fuck down. Lots of stuff. But let's get started. So, Lucha Underground, the show that I initially planned on doing a live stream of and didn't get to do, I will talk about that here. This was the big episode, the finals of the Cueto Cup, between Pentagon Dark and Prince Puma, and the big title match between Rey Mysterio Jr. and Johnny Mundo, which has been built up for 10 weeks. So a long time, a lot of build-up went into this match. And, you know, with as long as the tournament's been going, a lot of build-up went into that as well. So this was a pretty big episode. And overall, I thought it was really good. I thought it was very good. I thought Pentagon and Puma had a great match. They traded Canadian destroyers, which was a little ridiculous. But other than that, like, I thought the match itself was very good. Puma won, no surprise there. I kind of expected him to win. I saw a chance for Pentagon to win, but overall, I pretty much expected it to be Puma. And Rey versus Mundo was very good. It did not reach that kind of upper echelon of high caliber Lucha Underground matches that I was kind of hoping for. Like, I thought with the build up and everything that this was going to be like a top 10 in the history of the promotion or the show, easy. And it didn't quite reach that level. I thought the ending was a little wonky with Dario Cueto interfering to keep Johnny Mundo happy so Mundo wouldn't go off to other companies, which I'll talk about that in a minute. But while that kind of makes sense for Dario's motivation, it's got, they did promise no outside interference before the match, so to get outside interference kind of like cheapened it a little bit. And I was fine with Dominic doing a run-in just to get revenge on Mundo for the segment they did weeks ago, but Dario felt like a bit overkill, and I would have preferred, actually what I would have preferred, do the Dominic thing, Rey wins, and then Dario restarts the match, citing that Dominic interfered and the win is illegitimate, then Mundo cheats to win. That's probably what I would have done, which is kind of sort of what they did, but not really. They just had Dario straight up interfere in the match, which I felt, like I said, kind of cheapened it a little bit. But I still thought the match was very good. They did some crazy stuff with each other and had a very nice action-packed match that you would expect out of those two. And Mundo won, which was a pleasant surprise. So now it looks like it's going to be Prince Puma versus Johnny Mundo at Ultima Lucha Tres. So definitely excited about that. These two have had great matches in the past, but both characters are kind of completely different now. So should be a great one. Should be a great main event. And I'm really looking forward to it. So we'll see how that goes. Next up, what's another big one to talk about? I guess I'll go into GFW. Their latest episode, they crowned a new Impact Wrestling Global Force Wrestling champion, Eli Drake, who is somebody, to be perfectly honest, I do like the guy. I do like Eli Drake. I was kind of singing his praises a couple years ago, or a year or 2 years ago, or whatever. I was like, look, he's one of the few good things in this promotion right now. He's kind of a diamond in the rough. I think he's great on the mic. I think he carries himself really well, and managed to carve a personality for himself when no one would have expected it. He kind of came in as Drew McIntyre's kind of like sidekick, and there wasn't a whole lot there, it seemed. But turns out the guy's got a lot of personality, and he's kind of turned that into a lasting gig for himself in GFW. Would I have put the world title on him? Probably not. I probably would have built him up a little bit more first, but they were stuck in a position where they had to take the belt off El Patron. So it's like, okay, I mean, I can see they're trying to put the belt on one of their guys and not like some outsider coming in. And we did get, I did mention Johnny Mundo earlier. Johnny Impact made his debut this week. Did not win the belt, which was kind of surprising. I thought once he came out in the gauntlet match, I was like, oh, well, he's winning the belt, no question. And no, it was Eli Drake. So, I mean, good for Eli. I mean, he's one of the guys, been like one of the few bright spots for GFW or Impact Wrestling or TNA or whatever the hell you want to call it for the last few years now. But I wish that the booking had been kinder to him, because he's kind of been like goofed around a little bit too much. So, it is what it is. But there are worse options. I'll say that. There are definitely worse options. And we'll see what Eli can do. I'm actually kind of interested in seeing what his promos are going to be like now that he's the champion. So we'll see how that goes. But I mentioned GFW and I've mentioned Lucha Underground, so I guess that's a good way to transition into what happened at Triple Mania tonight, Triple A's big show. It's kind of the story's been kind of making the rounds, and I got news about it when while watching coverage of the Maywether McGregor fight. But apparently, Sexy Star started shooting on Rosemary at the end of their match and broke her arm or something. And it's like, Jesus Christ, what the hell? And there's apparently there've been a lot of problems with Sexy Star in AAA for a while now. She screwed Taya over. She did a bunch of other things, and apparently she's been a bit of a behavioral problem. And to me, it's like, that is so not cool to do that, to shoot on somebody I don't care what personal problems you have. You should never let it affect the on-screen product. And your opponent is like your dance partner. You need to be able to trust them, and you gotta take care of each other. And if you're going out there, snapping Rosemary's arm, it's like, okay, well, fuck it. Like, if I'm a worker, I'd be like, fuck, I'm never working with her. Well, like, cause like, she broke a person's arm because fuck you. That's why, and that's not good. That is not good at all. And I don't know. If I'm AAA, I kind of look at the situation and go, do I want her here? Like, she's kind of being a headache and kind of causing problems that we don't need. So it'll be interesting to see how that develops moving forward. And as far as, like, Lucha, well, I mean, I'm still waiting for an announcement. I'm not even going to speculate on Lucha Underground until it's official that we're getting season 4. But, yeah, I read that and I was just like, what the fuck? Why is that even happening? Why would that even happen? It's just stupid. But yeah, very disappointed in Sexy Star's behavior with that one. That's not cool. That is just not cool to do that. But yeah, so that took place. But since we're on the topic of women's wrestling, I will bring up an NXT spoiler. It has not aired on the network yet. So if you don't want to have this spoiled for you, turn it off. Turn this video off right now. Although I've seen the headline everywhere. I didn't even read the spoilers, and I know about it because they've just been posted everywhere, so I'm probably late to the game anyway. But the next development for Asuka is that she will be leaving NXT, has been stripped of the NXT Women's title, and will be moving to either Raw or SmackDown. So her record-setting, like, legendary women's title reign in NXT has come to an end, and no one beat her. And that's one of the things you worry about with it. Well, not worry about, but it's one of the things with NXT, because it is a developmental for WWE, guys can get called up, and there's the potential for storylines to not get wrapped up, or storylines to get thrown to the wayside because things happen. Now, what WWE could do with this, you had her beat all these people in NXT, you had her hold the title for this long without getting beat, have her go up to the main roster and just continue where she left off. Have her just dominate and destroy people, and then when she ultimately loses, you'll have her entire time on the main roster, and then all of the preceding stuff from NXT to build into this one storyline of Asuka being this unbeatable athlete and fighter, and hopefully we get a really good payoff down the road. An example of where WWE did this at least moderately well was the Sami Zayn Kevin Owens feud, where it started in NXT, was left as a hanging story thread in NXT, but through Sami's injury, they never got to resolve it. Sami comes back, they move him to the main roster, and then the storyline is able to pick up again and finish up on the main roster, and it concluded with that great match they had at Battleground last year, which I attended. Very, very good match. So, yeah, I mean, Asuka should be a really great fit on the main roster. I just have my concerns, as with always with other NXT talents. I mean, Bobby Roode got moved up to SmackDown this week, and they're going to make him a babyface. Not that, I've seen him work before. He can work babyface. I'm just kind of like, I don't know. I feel like he should be a heel. I feel like he's just a more natural heel, but I don't know. It's Vince's call. It's his show. I'll let him do what he wants. But, there's always that fear when the NXT person moves up that they're going to get ruined. And my joke was, when I heard that Asuka was going to get moved up, my joke was, oh, I can't wait to see her lose her 5th match. And it's like, because that's what they do. I mean, look at what they did with Bayley. They put her on this path, made her this ultimate underdog in NXT, had her lose the big title matches, but she kept fighting through and kept inspiring hope. And then she finally won. It was one of the most emotional title changes I've seen in the last decade and a half or so. It was really well done. Compare that to when she moves up to the main roster on Raw. She just kind of beat Charlotte, and that was that. It didn't feel like it was the title win didn't feel like it was earned. The title win didn't feel like it was special. It didn't feel like a big payoff. It was just something that they did because why the fuck not? And now you have situations where Bayley is getting booed at episodes of Raw and whatever because the character intrigue is just not there anymore. And, I do fear that Asuka's going to get similar treatment where it's like, oh, she's supposed to be... She works best when she's unbeatable, and they'll have her lose, like, her third or fourth match just because why not? It'll shock the people. And, okay, fine, whatever. But, yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about this week. A bunch of interesting headlines, and a bunch of interesting stuff going on. But I'm definitely going to have more to talk about as the weeks go on, and other video projects I have lined up start materializing. My next Star Wars review is actually coming up as well. I'm going to have that posted sometime early next week, or in the next couple of days, I should say. It should be a pretty good one, and I'm really looking forward to doing it, so be on the lookout for that. But that is all I have for you right now, so... I think next, some of my big ideas, I think I'm actually going to check out the next Raw pay-per-view because the main event's going to be Lesnar versus Strowman. I still haven't watched SummerSlam, by the way. I don't know if I'm going to, but I do want to watch, I said Strowman and Lesnar was a match I really wanted to see. It's like, you know what, I think I will check that one out because I do want to see that match just to see what would happen. But, I think I want to, now that I'm hearing about Sexy Star shooting on Rosemary, I kind of want to check out Triple Mania now and maybe just watch the whole show and see what's up. But, so I should have some interesting things lined up for you guys over the next few weeks. But that is all I have for you now, so you enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I'll see you later.